Wow. Wow. Mount Shasta, Paleo, Clovis, Volcanic Glass effigies, mammoth and face effigies at their very best. This material is gem quality material. This was held back by a rock dealer for many years to be sold, to be cut and polished and faceted for gemstones. Fortunately, it didn't get to that stage. And when they were put up on the market, I immediately recognized them as Paleo Story Stone effigies and was quick to acquire them. These are Clovis, and they're from Mount Shasta, made out of naturally occurring volcanic glass. This, you can see, the eye of the mammoth has been corkscrewed into the stone. The carver here, the napper, corkscrewed that right into that eye right there, right into the stone. We have a face. Here's the eye of the face, the purple. There's the nose and the mouth and the forehead looking off from the back of the mammoth. Beautiful, outstanding material. There's a better shot of that corkscrew eye with the hair coming out from around it. And there we go. And that's a mammoth now facing right with all the hair of the mammoth beautifully etched. And it's all patinated. This stone is really patinated on the surfaces, almost kind of an opalescence. And it's got beautiful etching, outstanding flaking, and etching up on the flaking here. All that flaking, all this stuff over here has been etched as well to image the hair on the back of the mammoth. Just outstanding. Now, that is part of the natural surface of the nugget. These come in tabular sheets, and they come in globular masses. So this volcanic glass comes in tabular sheets and volcanic and globular masses, and oftentimes they use the outer cortex as part of the carving. And then, of course, when we turn it over here, we have another wonderful mammoth image off to the left now. And when we turn it this way, wow, that's a great mammoth image now, baby mammoth image off to the right. Excellent mammoth image off to the right. Now, this face has been anciently ground. That's what took the rock dealer by surprise. He thought that was modern grinding. It isn't. There's an eye there, and a mouth down here, and a nose right there. That nose has been actually etched of a face looking at you now. Eye, nose that's been etched for a nose, and the ripple for the mouth. They did that on purpose to have the face images on the side of the mammoth. That's the old face that's very powerful. And then the young face is viewed in this direction. It's a little harder to see, but it's down here. It's these are the eye, this looking off this way. Here's the eye, the nose, and the mouth of the younger face now facing left, right here. Eye, nose, and mouth of the younger face. That's all been anciently etched. I've examined it with a 10-power loupe. It's all patinated heavily, and because it was ground, it holds the patina, unlike the flaking scars, even though they're patinated as well. But look at that face. That's a powerful face looking at us here. And they did that intentionally on purpose, because each of these effigies that I've discovered have images of the young mammoth facing left, the old senior mammoth facing left, and now the baby mammoth facing right. So they've imaged both the baby mammoth and the old mammoth and display a young human face and an old human face. And I call them story stones. And these are at their best. Mount Shasta, volcanic glass specimens. To show you some of the grinding, they made a lot of story stone effigies out of Libyan Desert glass. This side of the glass has been etched. Right there is a groove that was etched. And that's a groove that was etched. And that surface has been polished. Now on the other side, this surface has been ground some, but mostly still natural after having been flaked. It's a rougher surface, this is. They didn't grind it all the way down like the other side. And this part right here, that's been ground too. That's all ancient grinding. And when we look at it, we can see it. They made a lot of effigies out of Libyan Desert glass. You can see the grinding on that surface that flattened that right down. That whole surface there has been ground in paleo times. To view the faces, the hole or the bubble in the glass, the bubble there and then the hole here that was formed by a bubble. It's got a little pebble in there, I believe. This is the eye of the face with the nose and the mouth looking right. That's the young face. The old face is the eye here, the big droopy nose over here to the left, and the mouth down here. That's a Libyan Desert glass. They left the cortex of the stone up here, unflaked. All the rest of this is flaked and ground. All of it's flaked and ground, the whole thing there. Now this is windblown, so you have to be able to look at windblown flaking scars and know what they are. And then, of course, we have more cortex here. But the cool part is here, we've got more grinding here. Look how they ground that. All in ancient times, all patinated, all worn, all weathered. And then they actually etched the hair in it too, right here. They etched that. Those are etching lines right there that they carved into the Libyan Desert glass. And then, of course, we have the baby mammoth facing right now with his little trunk off to the right. So we know that they ground the surfaces of stone quite frequently. Here's one that I found that's just beautifully ground and polished. This is from the Mojave Desert at Lake Mannix, Calico Hills. And this has just been beautiful. It's all patinated orange. It's been beautifully polished and very baby smooth. And then this is the other side over here. That's actually a mammoth facing left there. We have another mammoth, great image there, facing left now. We have another mammoth now facing right. And I believe this will stand up. No, not quite. Yes, it stands up this way. Mammoth facing left with its tapering back. And of course, we have the same type of imagery on this side. And then a face, eye, nose, and mouth looking up from the back of the mammoth. So this side also has great mammoth imagery now facing right. And another mammoth now facing left. But I wanted to just demonstrate how this ancient grinding works. This is outrageous stone, the most beautiful gemstone I've ever seen. This is volcanic glass from Mount Shasta, Clovis manufacture out of tricolored green, purplish blue, and clear. And just the most beautiful stone on the planet. This is the most beautiful gemstone that I have ever come across here. And then we have this flattened area here that's been ground. That's all been ground there. And then it's been flaked afterwards. So they ground that. They grooved it and ground it, and then they went ahead and flaked it right up to the grinding. All these pieces were ground prior to the flaking in at least the area that they wanted to demonstrate as being ground. Now, there is a reason why they ground that, and if I can get that here. Oh, here, now we're getting there. There's a face there. There's an eye, a nose that's actually been etched right there. Two eyes and a nose that's been vertically etched. Hard to see here. Two eyes right there, right here. And then vertically etched for the nose, and then the mouth below. There it is. There's the face looking at you right there. And they made that face in there. They're very clever, very subtle. But trust me, everything on this is intentional. There's nothing unintended about it. That's a very cool little face there staring right at us again. This is not uncommon imagery when it comes to these paleo, story stone, face, and mammoth effigies. And this stone is outrageous. Now, on this side, they left the cortex right there. That's ancient cortex, by the way. That's all ancient grinding there. There's no modern, look at that. There's no modern polish or grinding to it whatsoever. And that cortex they left on there is now the eye of the mammoth facing right. That's the eye. They flaked it right up to the cortex. But that's not uncommon. These beautiful, beautiful ruby red glass pieces. This is cortex on one side, which is kind of a flowing glass, and these were formed tabularly. So on the other side, this side formed in more of a flat crystalline type, a crystal-sided, a flat type of manner. And this side looks like it's been lightly polished in ancient times. There's no modern polish on this whatsoever, but they flaked it right up to the cortex here. You can see they flake it right up to the cortex. Very common, but it's not always common that the faces are ground. That you can see the flowing glass there. Now those etching lines are paleo. That's for the hair of the mammoth and all the flaking, of course. And the eye was anciently ground to make the eye. That was anciently ground and anciently patinated there. You can see that. Whenever they did the grinding, you can see good patina because the grinding holds the patina, unlike the flaking scars. Now, here's another beautiful mammoth right here now. Another one that's anciently ground. And when you look at that grinding, that is all ancient. There's nothing modern about it. It's irregular, and it's pitted, and it's rough, but kind of rounded just because of weathering. And same on this side. This groove right here, that's all anciently etched. That's all ancient etching there. All right here, right along there. That's all ancient etching. There's no modern etching there. That's all ancient work. And that's what our paleo ancestors were capable of. Now we have a mammoth with its trunk facing off to the left. Now we have a mammoth facing off to the right, facing off to the left, facing off to the right. We have a mammoth. Images are great. This mammoth here now is facing right. And then we have a mammoth image facing left here. So the mammoths can be facing either direction, maybe the old mammoth and the young mammoth. And it's a beautifully flaked piece out of just outrageous material. Again, this is the best of the best of Mount Shasta. And here's another beautiful specimen of a mammoth facing left. And some great face imagery on this now with a nose and a mouth down here facing left, and its hair all etched up here. Unbelievable, just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And this is the cortex here. They left the cortex on, and they did some etching here too, and then they flaked it right up to the cortex. Wow, look at these colors. This is really the gem of Mount Shasta, and it was treated as such by our Paleo Indian friends, our ancestors. Look at that face looking up from the back of the mammoth there with the eye there, the nose, and the mouth down here. Just totally unbelievable. Let's see, and then this is just fantastic material. It's the most beautiful gemstone, in my opinion, on the planet, and over 12,000-year-old face and mammoth effigies made by our Clovis ancestors 12 to 14,000 years ago. Wow.